Welcome to another episode of our View on Cry Out TV. I am Chodong Gumba, your humble host. On today's episode, we are going to do a follow-up on episode 51, which was focused on unmasking the killers of journalist Samuel Wazizi, during which one of Cameroon's state's most brutal and serial killer, Colonel Joel Bamkui, highlighted on the role Christopher Fobene Anu played in the arrest of Anglophone leaders in Nigeria. It is obvious that Christopher Fobene Anu and his brother Oliver have and continue to play their role as activists and fighter in the liberation of Southern Cameroons. History can't be written without mentioning the arrest of their sister and mother. At the same time, Chris Anu seems to be passively working with a double agent who taps information from him and sends out to the government of Cameroon for execution. We spoke to Colonel Joel Bamkui, who is in charge of military intelligence in one of our investigations on the extortion of money and corruption by the previous commander of Antenne Semil Douala, Bernard Mbutabala, and Jelam Dixon, on innocent Anglophones who were illegally framed up on the basis that they were amber fighters so as to extort money from them. The loose-tongued colonel, knowing our investigations were not towards him, was proud to list his achievements, especially his role in the arrest of the Anglophone leaders in Nigeria, including those like Chris Anu that helped him succeed in that mission. Our View never found interest in Chris Anu and his ignorant role played in the arrest of Ayok and Co. in Nigeria. This was simply because of two reasons. Number one, we thought Colonel Joel Bamkui was running his mouth to bring confusion within the leadership of the self-acclaimed Southern Cameroon's interim government. Number two, we had not properly investigated the matter because we had priority areas. Bringing in Chris Anu now is because we have done our investigations and we can authoritatively say that Chris is working with a double agent which he may or may not be aware of. When Chris Anu realized that we had information about the double agent, he decided to run behind us to downplay the information and for us to properly identify the double agent for him, so he can run back and clear his name with his numerous conspiracy theories. This is the same Anu that had blocked us when we were investigating my trip to Buea, and today is running behind us to clear his image. Let us now listen to our first conversation when we called to investigate his links with the My Trip to Buea funds and how he gave us an appointment which he never honored.
Hello, Pastor Chris.
Yeah, who's this, sir?
This is Chodong Gumba Cry Out TV.
Hey, you are still alive in Texas?
I'm alive and strong. Houston, Texas.
Good to hear your voice, sir.
Good to hear your voice, brother. How you doing?
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
How about you and your family?
Oh, we thank God. God is good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm calling because I've been doing some investigations on My Trip to Buea, and I have some few questions related to the monies that they claim that came to your mind. So I don't know when would be a good time that we can meet, since we are in the same city, if it's okay with you. So I can show you.
We can do over the phone. I'm very mobile. I know those figures, and I'm very comfortable talking about it anytime.
Okay, then perfect. Alright, what I'll do is, I didn't know I was going to get you on this same number, so what I'll do is I'll do the paperwork and then I'll call you back. Is there any good time that you prefer?
The evenings are good, like after 5, I guess.
Alright, cool. Alright, then I'll call you after 5 then today.
Alright,
thanks.
Let's listen to another attempt where he answered but did not say a word. Rather, we heard a lady talking in the background before he dropped the call.
Hello, Pastor Chris.
He played along like someone willing to cooperate and later blocked us. He never returned our calls nor visited our studio, which is 10 minutes drive from his house. Let us now listen to his call after we published episode 51, trying to get information that will enable him to clear himself.
How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I am doing excellent. I just listened to your interview with is it Banco or Banco or something. He was talking in French, and I really don't understand. So was he saying that I participated in selling the Naira 12 or 10 or what?
Well, apparently that's what he was trying to insinuate. Between me and you, I don't believe what he was saying. I have this.
You remember when that thing happened? You called me and was telling me some information, persuading me, and I kept.
Secretary Chris, the only reason, Chris, and the only reason you're calling me, it's because of this. When I was doing an investigation on my trip to Boya, I was supposed to talk to you. You decided to block me, but you see, my lines are open and I talk to everybody because I stand for truth. The only reason why I did put this is not something that I investigated today. I've had this recording is more than a year. I don't do sabotage. You know the truth. You know who is Chodo. You know I stand for truth. Now, this is the thing. The only reason why I did put this was because I'm investigating the death of Wazizi. And this is a man that I call him and I question him. Whenever he knows that the heat is not coming to him, he talks like a parrot. But because he knows there is something, he knows very well there is something, his hands are not clean when it comes to the death of Wazizi.
He's a killer.
Yes, when it comes to the death of Wazizi, he is running away from answering my questions. So that excerpt was something that I was trying to put out so the people should understand that this man would talk freely. He has ego. He knows that he is an overall boss when it comes to what they are doing there. He will talk freely. But because I've had this for more than a year, I don't do sabotage. No, I've had this for more than a year. I've been investigating stuff. I have different things that I have in my keeping. But this was just to show. So when I see this, your fight that you people are doing, I'm just like, today they say Chodor is a black leg. When he doesn't, dance around, the rhetoric of what the ADF people are saying, Chodor is a black leg. When he doesn't dance around what the interim government people are saying, Chodor is a black leg. Finally, you guys don't even know what you guys are doing. So, I don't believe what he was saying. Maybe there is more to that. I don't care. My focus is on the death of Wazizi.
Yeah, well, everything just looked stupid in my eyes. That my brother will be in the bush fighting, and I will be selling. I will give them sickle, and then have my brother in the bush fighting, right? They have my mother arrested. They have my sister in jail, and so he should have told you how much they pay me then to. Well, I know he's just trying to be stupid because if you want to tell
from what he is saying, or from different excerpts that I have, they had somebody using you without your knowledge. Let me put it like this. So you, at a certain point in time, you communicated with them without knowing that that was a proxy. Do you understand? So it wasn't something that you knew. You know how we gather information, and you might be thinking that somebody that you trust is somebody that you can trust, whereas that person is a double agent. Now you get it.
No, but I don't think even that is true, because if I was privy to a meeting taking place in Abuja.
No. Let me tell you. No, let me tell you something. You have nothing to do about the Abuja stuff. What he's saying about you being a threat is other information that they got from you without you knowing. Listen to that little part very well.
I don't interpret it for me because I don't understand French. I was listening to you talk to you in French. I heard when you mentioned my name.
I have excerpts of longer conversation. I was trying to make this very short. What Bankui is saying is, or what you should know is, at a certain point in time during this revolution, they had someone that was talking to you that you trusted. It's for you to go back and look behind and see the people that you've been talking to amongst them. Who amongst them was somebody that works with them? I will not give you names, but there are some people that you were dealing with them thinking that, okay, these are people you could trust, but these people are double agents. These people work.
Okay.
Yes. So you were actually giving some information that was very important to them without even knowing. So you were ignorantly working for them. I will not say, Chris, let me tell you something. I'm a straightforward person. I will not say that you actually intentionally worked with them. I can say Chris Anu is a broke man. He's using this revolution to make money. But that you worked with them knowingly, I will not say that. But unknowingly,
I use the revolution to make money, eh?
Of course. I say it as it is. Of course, you have. You know, I know you, Chris. I know you, but you see, that is not important. You guys.
How do you know me, Theodore?
Well,
you knew me when how do you know me? You knew me for a few months when we had my show. We started holding meetings until you began. Your language changed.
My language, Chris, my language has never changed, and you know that very well. My language has been the same from the beginning, today, and tomorrow. I don't change my language. You know that.
Okay.
You know that.
Okay, maybe you should put it out there in your show how Chris makes money with the revolution. That would get more.
No. Chris, let me tell you something. I don't do sabotage. Again, I don't do sabotage.
No,
I say it as it is.
You went and videoed my shop and you put it in your show. Is that what you call it?
What do you mean by I went and video your shop? That is not sabotage. I'm saying truth. That this is a man that had a church.
What truth are you saying? If you were saying the truth,
Chris,
you consult me.
Chris,
Truth is both ways.
you are the same person that could not even afford $10 of gas in your car. Am I lying? You could not pay your bills. Am I lying?
What are you talking about? Look,
hold on.
You're being childish.
No, I'm not being childish. What? I'm not being childish.
Saw the way the church looked like.
I donated in your church. Didn't I donate in your church?
The shop was loaded.
Chris Anu. Chris Anu, did I not donate in your church? I donated in your church.
Donate in my church, what does that mean? Are you the only one donating?
No. I'm just trying to tell you that I said true. I don't lie. Everything that I said, your shop was sealed because you could not pay bills.
I am being disappointed here, Theodore. I'm being disappointed. That's very childish.
What is childish? Hold on, let me ask you a question. Hold on, let me ask you a question. Your car stopped in the street. You could not even have gas. Let me ask you a question, Chris Anu. What?
Based on our conversation with Chris Anu, whom we have always known that his commitment to the struggle for liberation is based on his present financial benefits and future interest of his family should the revolution succeed, and him trying to mask himself, we decided to spill this. Chris is one of Anglophone's most corrupt leaders in the so-called interim government, who have used the gullibility of Southern Cameroonians in their quest for independence to steal and ignorantly destroy the revolution for his private and personal gains and to enrich his family. This individual has a well-known reputation of personal failures and established records of corruption and embezzlement of the hard-earned contribution made by Southern Cameroonians to help push for the restoration of their statehood. First, let us give you a brief background of this computer repairer / fake pastor with a failed ministry known as Revival Assembly International Church, which was closed down because he could not pay the bills. He came to the limelight when the consortium leaders were arrested and powers moved to the hands of the desperate minority who could barely feed themselves like himself. He also owned a failed online news blog named after La République du Cameroun, known as Cameroon Journal. As a computer repairer, things became bad for him as many of his customers resulted in buying new computers and seeking for other technicians because of his inefficiency. After failing to have customers, Chris Anu decided to ordain himself a pastor and opened up a church. He had witnessed how lucrative this business was from another fake pastor, Victor Mba of Omega Ministries in Houston, Texas, and thought tithes and offering will rescue him. His ministry did not do well, fact being that he had just moved to Houston from Manchester, New Hampshire, and very few people knew him. This made things difficult for Chris Anu to even pay rent for his church premises, and ended up being evicted from both computer repair shop and church just around the same time the Southern Cameroon Revolution was gaining recognition. A few Cameroonians in Houston, names withheld, confirmed to us that this man lacked money to fuel his car most of the time and was dependent on the goodwill of friends and family members. Chris became vocal early 2017 after being attacked by Bo Herbert and Chia Innocent on social media platforms. He released audios questioning some government officials, politicians, and self-acclaimed leaders on their strategy in restoring the statehood of Southern Cameroons. Chris decided to add his voice to the ranks of those who were advocating for federation on the view that he will be given a privileged position to handle money and do financial transactions. Since federation was popular at that time, the Consortium Commission in the US realized his plans and quickly denied him a signatory to the accounts. In frustration, he decided to move to the camp that was advocating for the outright restoration of the state of the former Southern Cameroons. Chris was appointed in one of the meetings as a spokesman to use his voice to intimidate the government of Cameroon and to encourage the people to continue with the resistance. When Chris published audios, it was deeply appreciated by many in the war-torn areas of Southern Cameroon, who had no idea on the motives of the interim government. They quickly bought the idea that there is an internationally recognized government of Southern Cameroons, also known as Ambazonia. His great voice landed him a position of leadership. Seeing the great opportunity of enriching himself, he quickly started working with double agents of the government to bring down other members of the interim government so that he can have a grip of power and finances. Chris ignorantly had a hand in the arrest of the Anglophone leaders in Nigeria by stupidly working with a double agent. To make matters worse, he and his team quickly launched a coup against the leaders arrested because they wanted to consolidate power and fully control the finances. They made sure nobody was left who could oppose or question them on how they spend the people's money. Chris suddenly claimed that Ayok Tabe and the arrested team were already compromised and so should be impeached, so powers be handed to them for effective management of the crisis. Sadly enough, they impeached Ayok and co and imposed themselves on the people. The funds of my trip to Buea went missing, and the new team changed their homes and moved to more comfortable homes and bought new cars. Chris could now move from one city to another, enjoying the money stolen from my trip to Buea. This is the same Chris Anu who could not afford rent or fuel for $10. Chris is not only embezzling, but he is stealing from the state that he claims to be working under. Many of his associates and the people do not know how he steals from the interim government. This is one example of how Chris is stealing from the Ambazonian interim government. He owns a private monetized YouTube account created in 2013, but had less than 1,000 subscribers until he became Secretary of Communication for the interim government. He uses this personal account to to upload exclusive videos meant for the ABC Amber TV YouTube channel. When you view a video on his personal YouTube channel, it credits his account through Google advertisement, which gives him income on his platform and not the official platform of the ABC YouTube channel. He uploads some of the videos later to the official account of ABC Amber TV after his personal channel must have recorded most views. Here is a look at his official channel. The YouTube channel for ABC Amber TV was created on September 15, 2018 and has just 2,600 subscribers. These videos are intellectual property owned by the people of Southern Cameroon, if at all the ABC Amber TV is their property. This is scamming for someone who claims he is sacrificing his life and that of his family to restore the independence of the former British Southern Cameroons. He hides behind the fact that his brother is a fighter and that his mother and sister were detained, which makes it credible that his family is sacrificing more than anyone. This is not true. His family is just like that of many who are paying the huge price. There are many whose family members paid with their lives but do not have the opportunity to make the same kind of noise like Chris Fobene Anu. Every hard worker deserves his wages or salaries, and Chris is no exception. He should come up clear that he is an Amazonian contractor and not a freedom fighter, so he can be compensated for his work. Cry Out is giving Chris Anu the opportunity to prove that he did not embezzle money from my trip to Boya, because he has the right to be heard. Our record shows that a total amount of $64,581 was disbursed to him with exaggerated expenses for travel and telephone communications. Chris Anu could only account for $38,555.99. Therefore, $26,025.01 could not be accounted for by him. Self-defense is a universal human right, and the people have a right to defend themselves, but must be done with the respect of international conventions such as the Geneva Convention, which gives room for freedom of speech and respect of civilians in armed conflict.